Hey there, I'm Brian Dalmaso, and it's my pleasure to be talking to you today about our Thinking in the Results program. And just to give you a little bit about my background, and I've been very, very blessed to be mentored by the world's leading wealth and business mindset expert, Bob Proctor, for over 10 years. So everything I'm going to share with you today here is based on his studies and really based on generations of study, which is what I'm going to show you here. But my team and I, we teach people to think and act and operate like the world's fraction of top 1%. And I know that sounds like kind of a big title, but that's what we do. We're wealth and business mindset experts. I've been taught by some of the best in the world. And what I'm going to share with you here literally brought me from one revenue stream to over 30 revenue streams and growing. And the fact of the matter is that building wealth is really about 95% mindset and only about 5% what you do, right? You can be a stock trader like these people here in this picture, and you can get on the New York Stock Exchange and probably earn a decent living, or you could be like this man here and trade companies, right? So same vertical, but different mindset, right? I want to prove to you how strong and how powerful mindset is. Some of you watching this might be realtors. You might be in real estate, right? You might be a broker. You might even own a brokerage. Or you could be like this man here. He's controlling about 8 billion in real estate now, and he's not even that bright. He's just really, really aggressive and really a go-getter. And the difference is his mindset, right? So it's always mindset, mindset, mindset. A lot of you might have home-based businesses if you're watching this. You might be into e-commerce like this gentleman here. Well, what's the difference between this guy here, right? Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. I mean, he was physically selling books at one point, and I think he worked at McDonald's. And there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. It's just a different mindset over time, right? So everything I'm sharing with you today is about how these people think and act and operate, and how you can also learn to think and act and operate just like them and really apply it to your life. I'm not saying you're going to be the next Jeff Bezos, but what does it look like to be the Jeff Bezos of your life and your world? So I think we all agree that mindset is the biggest denominator, right? That sets the 1% apart. So if that's the case, what is mindset? Those of you watching this, you probably can't explain what mindset is. Think about that. If we know that we have to change our mindset, what is it? So I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom here and just let you know that when we say the word mindset, what you're really talking about is what we call a paradigm. These are all of the mental programs stored in your subconscious mind since birth that are controlling all of your results. I really want you to think about this. Your subconscious mind is wide open when you're born, and it's about 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind at storing data. This is why when we get 20, 30, 40 years old and we have a set of habits, they become so hard to change. But I want you to just think about this one thing. And if you're watching this, I really want you to stop and think. Just imagine when you were born, if you had grown up with Warren Buffett as your dad and you spent the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years in that environment. You see, when somebody joins us in Thinking in the Results, what we do is we put you in the environment of millionaires and billionaires for 6 months, quite literally. That's what happened with me at age 41, when I went from one revenue stream to over 34 revenue streams and growing, very short period of time. And that's what can happen for you as well, right? So a paradigm is really like the operating system in your computer. You get a brand new computer, the operating system is blank. You load Windows, and then you load PowerPoint, Excel, you load programs, right? But when you were born, you were blank. You couldn't speak, you couldn't walk, you could barely eat, and you certainly couldn't build wealth, right? And you've probably never taken actual wealth building programs in your entire life. So how would you ever expect to build wealth if you didn't have a proven system and a mentor? So I want you to think about that your subconscious mind is like a data storage center, and we can install programs called wealth building. So again, when you were born, you needed mentors to learn how to walk, and these were probably your parents. And then you went to school and you learned a bunch of math and science and history and English, but you didn't learn anything about wealth building, and neither did I, by the way, right? I had been an engineer, I'd been an architect, a builder, traditional trades and traditional incomes, but I never learned to build wealth until I was in my early 40s, right? So I was rowing that same boat of ignorance for almost 4 decades. Smoking is a good example. Some of you watching might be smokers. Well, smoking is not a physical habit. It is a mental program expressed physically, right? So smoking is a mental program, and so is wealth building. Your subconscious mind wouldn't know the difference between lighting up a cigarette and building a $100 million empire every day. And I know that sounds kind of far-fetched, but this is what we study. This is what we know. Consciously, there's a huge difference. You say, well, smoking is bad and wealth building is good. But subconsciously, your subconscious doesn't know the difference. So once we start to understand this, we can identify programs that are not serving us and replace them with programs that are serving us. And that's exactly what we do when we work with you in thinking into results. All right. So we're also here to show you how to build wealth. But then I got to say the same thing to you guys. What is wealth? A lot of people think wealth is money. It's not the case at all. Inside of the matrix, when we're teaching wealth, we teach people about balance, right? Your business, you should be doing something that you love when you work. Whether it makes money or not is irrelevant, because you can make money 1,000 different ways, right? So you really want to be doing something that you love for your business and career. And then your finances, right? 32 revenue streams and growing, setting up a bulletproof economy, making money overnight. I know these sound like, internet pie in the sky things, but they're not. You can literally learn to build revenue stream after revenue stream once you get into the mindset of like a Richard Branson, right? He's got over 300 companies and growing. So business and finance, a lot of people think that's wealth. But what about your health? What if you're earning $1 million a year, but you have diabetes and you're ready to have a heart attack and you got 1 foot in the grave, right? It's pointless to have financial wealth if you don't have physical health to enjoy it. What about your friends and family? What about those relationships, building that inner circle and that outer circle? Your romantic life, right? I've been divorced a few times in my early years from complete ignorance. So you can have all these other things, but if your romantic life is in the toilet, it doesn't really matter that much, does it? Because that's one of the most, I think, impactful things you can have is that human being to share life with. Personal growth. Are you studying in mindset? Are you developing personally? The fun and recreation pie. A lot of people focus on that, and then they're at retirement age completely broke, right? Spirituality, that was a big one for me because I used to think spirituality meant religion, and that's not the case at all, right? Religion is just man's concept of what is. It's a group of people understanding what is in a certain way, and then spirituality is what you are. You are consciousness expressing through a body. So understanding that is very huge. Philanthropy, right? Being philanthropic, giving your time, giving your love, giving your energy. I hadn't done any of that stuff in the early days of my life because I wasn't taught to do it, nor was I earning enough money to do it. And then your physical environment, where you are. I grew up in Massachusetts for the first 50 years, and I've been down in Florida for the last 2 years. And since I've been in Florida, I have 10x my income, and my income was already pretty healthy, right? So where you live actually matters. Is it gloomy and doomy for 7 months out of the year? Or is it all sunshine and rainbow and unicorns, right? So this is what we're talking about when we build wealth inside of the matrix. All right, so I want to give you a little bit of history where all this is coming from. None of this content is mine. I studied under Bob Proctor for 10 years, and I was his #1 student in the world for a period of time. So this information is not mine. I've just been really good at gathering and studying and then teaching it. But Bob didn't create this information either. Way back in the late 1800s, Andrew Carnegie, the world's first recorded billionaire, had a certain set of philosophies and mindset that he passed on to a young Napoleon Hill, who spent his entire life researching the wealthiest people in the world and creating the Think and Grow Rich series of books. And he passed that information on too to Earl Nightingale, right? Earl Nightingale was the first person on the radio to really start bringing personal development. And then Earl mentored my mentor, Bob Proctor, who passed the information on to me. And we're teaching people to do the exact same thing. So there's a long lineage of this success history and the main principles that most successful people do that the rest of the world is not doing. All right, so I want to show you a little bit about why you're probably getting the results you're getting, and then show you how to get the results of the world's wealthiest people. When we're born in complete ignorance, and we're taught to look at results. It's called the report card syndrome, right? You get a report card, it's all C's and D's. You get all depressed because you're studying subjects you probably don't even care about. And then your parents and the school teachers are beating up on you because you got C's and D's or maybe even some F's, right? So currently right now, you're probably looking at your current bank account, your current body, your current relationships, and you're using that to cause your thinking every day. Well, your thinking every day causes feelings. And every time I say the word feelings, I want you to think about vibrations. That's really what it is. If I was to say that I feel sad, what I'm really saying is I'm consciously aware that I'm in a low vibration. And if you feel really excited, what you're really saying is I'm consciously aware that I'm in a high vibration, right? So when you hear the word feeling, think vibration, because vibration is what puts people into motion or into procrastination. And most people procrastinate because they don't like their current results. So this is not at all how the world's wealthiest fraction of 1% think. The way that we think is more like this. We wake up every morning, we have morning routines to cause new thinking, right? Currently, my new thinking is saying 10 million a month net from multiple revenue sources. And that's on the way to a multi-billion-dollar goal. And that's not big or small, it just is. It's just relative, right? My goal of 21 billion by age 60, if I was sitting with Elon Musk, he'd be like, well, number one, you're older than me. And number two, that's cute, right? He's over 200 billion. So it's all relative. So, but it starts with that new thinking. And new thinking causes new feelings or higher vibrations. It's really that simple. You got to condition yourself to visualize what you want before you start every day, right? And these new feelings cause the body to move in a different way, causing new actions, and new actions have to cause new results. Now, this is an oversimplification of what happens over 6 months when you work with us in thinking the results, but it does clearly show why you're not getting the results you want and also how to get the results you want by following a mentor and a proven system. All right, so how do we make a quantum leap? That's really what we're doing here. If you understand quantum physics and quantum mechanics at all, you understand people can make quantum leaps. You can 10x or 100x in a year. People do it all the time. It's just maybe you don't know the people, you're not in that environment. All right, so the way to make a quantum leap, there's an actual formula for it. And the way to do that is to study in mindset. Study your conscious, subconscious body, what they call the mind-body connection. If you're not studying this every day, you probably will not succeed at a high level. Not unless you're an unconscious competent like a Steve Jobs or a Mark Zuckerberg, and you're a 1 in a million that just happens to have the information. Most people, including myself, we don't have that. But I am living proof that you can learn it because I went up to age 41 not knowing this stuff, right? And now we're 51. And we've got 34 revenue streams and growing. So if I can learn it, I promise you can. But the key and the thing that I did was to study in mindset every day. That's what thinking in the results is. It's the mindset piece of your success equation. The second thing would be to study in your industry. I use the example now of, 18 months ago, I did not know anything about Forex trading. And I already had a bunch of revenue streams and a bunch of companies, but I hired a mentor, followed a proven system. And within 6 months, I was profitable. And now we routinely pull about $250,000 a month from that one revenue stream. And it's something I didn't even know until after age 50, right? So study sales, study e-commerce, study architecture, whatever industries you're in, you want to study people that have the results that you want. And that's exactly what I did with Forex trading, right? And then the next thing is to take daily measurable action, right? Spirit, intellect, and body. You got to move the body. You got to start where you're at. You got to get a proven roadmap. And then just start, right? If you knew how to get to $1 million a month, you'd already be there. So stop worrying about the how and just start taking steps. So daily measurable action. And then the fourth thing that most people don't know about is letting go and letting God. Now, whether you believe in God or not, it's irrelevant. But if you wake up every morning worried about if it's going to work or COVID or just, what your mother-in-law said about it, right? Those are all low vibrations. So when you say let go and let God, it means if you're doing step 1, 2, and 3, you no longer have to worry. You were designed to be a creative system, right? You're an electromagnetic being. If you do those things and you remove fear, doubt, and worry, time becomes the only variable. All right, guys, so that is the formula for success, and that is what you get inside of the Thinking and Results program. And again, we all have mentors. I had a mindset mentor, I had a Forex mentor, I have a business mentor, marketing coaches, right? I have a team of mentors, and we spend multiple 6 figures a year improving our mindset. And then we bring it to you guys and teach it. So if you don't currently have a mindset mentor, good luck at succeeding at a high level. I don't even care if it's me or not. I just care that you see this message and do something about it. All right, especially as we come into the new year. So thinking in the results is really a mental toolbox created by the world's most successful people, and it's delivered at about a 5th grade education level. So it's very easy to digest. All right, guys, I'm going to briefly go through the 12 lessons that happen over the 6 months. And the very first lesson is goal setting, right? We call it a C-type goal. The first time I got in front of this material, we were doing about $1 million a year in construction, which is only about $100K in income in my pocket. And again, I was 41 years old, so that's not a lot for a 41-year-old, engineer, architect, builder, right? So when I got with Bob for the first time, we set a goal of going from $1 million to 10 million. That's what we call a C-type goal. And I said, currently now my goal is 21 billion in net worth and assets by age 60. It's a C-type goal. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't need to know. So lesson 1 is on goal setting, and we spend 2 weeks in each lesson really burning the new mental programs into your subconscious mind. Lesson 2 is the knowing doing gap. I promise you, this is probably the biggest reason most of you aren't succeeding. It's not that you don't know what to do physically, right? Diet. We know we should drink water and eat lean proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Everybody knows how to eat healthy, but most people don't do it. We know we should be putting at least 10% a month away towards some highly compounded financial vehicle, but most people don't do it. I didn't do it for 40 years, right? So again, no judgment here. I was doing the same dumb things for about 40 years until I got a mentor and a system. So closing this knowing doing gap is absolutely paramount to your success. In lesson 3, we talk about your infinite mind. It's really understanding the metaphysics behind the creative being that you are and living from the inside out. All right. In lesson 4, we talk about your inner potential. And this is really understanding how to balance the conscious, the subconscious, and the body, understanding that what we call a mind map or the mind-body connection. In this lesson here alone, when you understand it, not just for you, but for your family, your kids, your peers, understanding you means you'll understand other people and you can start to live in a much calmer, easier life, right? You won't be so reactive. And that leads right into lesson 5, which is not being impacted by your environment, understanding environment. You know, when COVID happened, most people curled up in a ball, businesses shut down. It was a global pandemic, right? We were traveling the world. We literally like 5x'd our income during that 2-year period because we were not living in a reactive state to the environment. We were living from the inside out. And you cannot attract what you are not in harmony with. So I was traveling all over the world and I never caught COVID, right? COVID's on a low frequency. I was on a high frequency. So understanding not to be in a reactive state, living from the inside out to your environment is absolutely life-changing. Lesson 6 is all about self-image. And the fact of the matter is you cannot ever outperform your self-image. So if you want to get to even 10,000 a month for some of you, you need to build an image of what that looks like and what it feels like. Otherwise, you might bump off of 10,000 and go right back to 2,000. Or if it's 100,000 a month or $1 million a month, whatever that is, you need to build the self-image before you can maintain that type of an income, or you need to build a self-image before you can maintain that level of fitness. All right. Lesson 7 is all about crashing through terror barriers, where you get a new idea to speak on stage or start a new company or ask this person or that person out. You're going to hit terror barriers. It's a double binding message between the conscious and the subconscious that expresses his anxiety. And once you understand this stuff, you can learn to push through these terror barriers. So lesson 7 is probably one of the most highly impactful lessons you could ever go through. In 2 weeks of that, and you start to understand how to live in a calm, confident, what we call a heavenly manner. Lesson 8, guys, is all about the power of praxis. This is aligning beliefs and behaviors. So once you have a new C-type goal in your belief system, now we're going to get the body to do the behaviors, right, to create the thing. So it's pretty basic, but it's aligning belief and behaviors towards your goals. Lesson 9 is all on the power of attitude and perspective. And a lot of people think they know what the word attitude means. And they think, oh, Brian's got a great attitude. He's a good guy. That's not what it means at all, right? Attitude is a composite word of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So you can be a pleasant person and think pleasant thoughts, but if you're not doing anything about it, then I'm not going to say you have a bad attitude, but you have an attitude that's not serving yourself or humanity. So understanding your results are based 100% on your attitude, right? Your thoughts, feelings, and actions towards something will allow you to really take the keys to the kingdom and build a heavenly life that you want. And understanding perspective is how you look at things, not with your eyeballs, but how you look at things with your energy and with your soul. And I use COVID as an example because, again, a lot of people looked at COVID and they caused fear and doubt and worry and lack. And I looked at it like, holy cow, a lot of money is going to be moving around the world, right? And you saw it happen from office space to online. Zoom, this platform that I'm recording on, went through the roof. So when you understand how this works, you can always position yourself in front of the energy that most people are panicking about. And that's just a change in perspective. Lesson 10 is in understanding that you are the most valuable person in the universe. It's not me. It's not Bob. It's not Richard Branson, it's you. And understanding not to be an extra in your own movie. That's really the first step. You can't sit on the sidelines and watch other people do all this stuff and think that you can't do it, because you're a human and they're a human, right? You have a subconscious, a conscious in the body, and so do I, and so does Elon Musk. So once we understand you have the same equipment, it gets really easy to say, okay, well, I don't need to know how. All right, Brian said I don't need to know how, and I have the right equipment. The only remaining question is, what do you want? And I guarantee you watching this probably don't have a clear, crystal clear vision of what you want. You might have a goal of what you think you can achieve, right? If you're earning 5,000 a month, you might say, boy, if I could just get to 10,000. But you're not even thinking 100,000 or a million a month, right? Or your body type. If you're 50 pounds overweight, you might be like, oh, I'd love to lose 10 pounds, right? You're not even thinking about being 4%, body fat and being on stage competing. So understanding this, that you're the most valuable person, is absolutely fundamental. And lesson 11 is on the impression of increase. And this is just really understanding leaving every single human being better off than you found them at every single interaction. And I'm talking about your kids and your wife and your husband and your coworkers, like people at the checkout line in the grocery store. Imagine if the whole world, if we were always thinking about other people and we just tried to leave everybody better off, even if it was just a smile or a compliment or giving somebody $20 on the side of the street. It's called the impression of increase. Super powerful lesson. And then the last lesson in the 6 months is understanding self-leadership and the mastermind principles, how to get your idea to a team of people to develop, right? We have multiple companies now. We have the Matrix, we have a software company, we have a gaming company, we're working on clothing, we had all these different companies, and I just keep building teams, right? So the vision comes out of my head, gets delivered to other people because I understand the mastermind principles. And this is how you can build legacy wealth and build companies. Have a lot of fun with it too. It's not just about the money. It's more about now it's just playing the money game. It's kind of the game of life, right? So that is an overview of the 12 lessons in Thinking and the Results. I think you can see why now it's the world's #1 program to build you into a wealthy, healthy lifestyle. And I want you to imagine for a minute what it would look like, 12 months from now, 3 years, 5 years, right? 1, 3, 5 years. Where would you be living? What do you really want? It's funny. I now live in Florida. I've been looking at this picture for probably 5 years, and now we're down here. And 6 months from now, we're going to own a place like this, right? Now that I've established where we are and what we're going to be doing. And I've been looking at this picture for 5 years. Or maybe you want to live in a high rise, right? These are all environmental pictures, right? What if you could work remotely from Bali like I can, right? We can run all these revenue streams because I have a team of people. We have technology. I don't have any physical storefronts, nothing where I need to personally be anywhere. As long as I have Wi-Fi, I can work from anywhere in the world. 10 years ago, I couldn't say that, right? So imagine if you could do that. Imagine driving what you want. Imagine doing what you want with who you want, where you want, whenever you want, because that's really on the table for you. But it starts with decision and action right from this video, right? It's not looking at this and then procrastinating for a year. That's not how it works. That's not how we roll. The world's wealthiest 1% of people, we make decisions based on intuition, right? So if this resonates, I would click, join, and start. Bottom line, I think you can understand by now, I don't need your money as a client. My purpose in life and my mission is to do exactly what Bob Proctor did and to get this information out to millions of people globally while I'm here expressing physically. So just imagine a lifestyle. I just took my entire family down to Cancun for a week, right? We do this every year, and it's super easy to do once you figure it out. But I want to ask you, right, when we talk about the wheel of life, where are you now, right? What does your wheel of life look like? Does it look like this now? This is what mine used to look like, right? Until I got a mentor, followed a system, put it into action, day after day, week after week, revenue after revenue, until we're here, right? And I promise you it doesn't take all that long. And the other thing is you're going to keep going through life anyway. So why not spend a few bucks and compress time and turn your wheel of life from this into something more like this? This is what happens when you join the Matrix. This is what happens when you make a decision to commit to 6 months of Thinking and the Results. Same thing that happened to me 10 years ago, same exact program. We now teach it, and I'm blessed and honored to be helping people all over the world. And we want you to develop a C-type goal, which is just what do you want, not what do you think you can get. I promise you, most of you now are setting goals based on what you think is possible instead of understanding who and what you are and setting goals, 7 figures a month, a penthouse at the Porsche Tower, right? Travel the world with your family. Live in a perfectly healthy body. These are all things that are available to you, but it all starts with decision, all right? So forget about the how. If you knew how to get to 100,000 a month, you would already be there. Just click the button, make a decision, enroll today, and start. Same thing I did 10 years ago. Same thing over 1,000 people have done with us as students. And it's the same thing you can do here today. And the information we teach in Thinking the Results is exactly how people like Warren Buffett think, act, and operate, how they process information. Like, why are they succeeding when other people are not? Even Grant Cardone, love him or hate him, you cannot deny his results, at least financially, right? And whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are correct. And that's part of the amazingness, if that's a word, and it's part of the problem. For most of you, it's part of the problem because you think you can't. Once you go through Thinking in the Results, you'll understand, of course you can. You just haven't been doing it, right? So the information we teach in Thinking in the Results is exactly the mindset that Henry Ford had. All right, guys, so it's really you that's holding you back now. I've just given you the tools. We've given you the answers. I can be your mentor. We have a roadmap, right? The only thing holding you back now is you. And take a look at this picture because it is all in your mind. Ask yourself, who has been programming your mind all these years? Why don't you think you can do it? Have you ever challenged these belief systems? Because we can build a new belief system together. We can get you to live that heavenly life that we keep talking about. We can get you to balance out that wheel. And it all starts with you making the decision. So Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I say that the definition of insanity is watching this video and not taking action. So guys, please click on the link below. I promise you, you'll need a telescope to look back in 6 months from now to see where your life was. I look forward to serving you. Be well, and God bless. We'll see you soon.